European leaders continue flurry of diplomacy amid uncertainty over Ukraine war. After their White House meeting, the so-called Coalition of the Willing first held a virtual meeting co-chaired by Keir Starmer and Emmanuel Macron, and later joined a video conference hosted by the European Council President Antonio Costa, where they discussed the outcome of high-level White House meeting and Ukraine security guarantees. On the other hand, Moscow has also sought security guarantees against NATO's expansion into Russia's proximity in any peace deal. Here's more in this report.
Ukraine's European allies held a virtual meeting on Tuesday and discussed the outcome of the fast-moving talks to end the war with Russia, following indications that Volodymyr Zelensky could sit down with Vladimir Putin for peace talks. Hopes of a breakthrough rose when the Ukrainian president and European leaders met US President Donald Trump in Washington on Monday. President Trump also talked to Russian President Putin over the phone, claiming the Russian leader is open to a bilateral with Zelensky, followed by a trilateral in which he would also be present. Trump also said he had discussed security guarantees for Ukraine, adding that Putin had agreed to them but ruled out Kyiv's long-held dream of joining the NATO alliance. Zelensky later spoke to reporters about a $90 billion package and said Ukraine and its allies would formalize the terms of the security guarantees within 10 days.
There is a package of weapons, US weapons, which we do not have and which primarily includes aircraft, air defense systems. There indeed is a package with our proposals worth $90 billion.
The head of UK's armed forces is also travelling to the US for detailed talks about American involvement in security guarantees. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has tasked Chief of the Defence Staff Tony Radakin to flesh out details of measures to protect Ukraine in the event of a peace deal. On the other hand, a leading policy expert in Brussels warned that delays in peace deal risk prolonging the war.
Trump took a ceasefire off the table as one of his key conditions at his meeting with Putin. That means that Russia is going to continue sending missiles and drones into Ukraine. There's still risks of more territory being captured by Russia. There's no time to waste in getting towards a ceasefire and then a peace deal. And the problem is that Trump's prevarications are simply extending the length of the conflict.
Meanwhile, during an interview to a state TV channel, Rossiya 24, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov raised the issue of long-standing Russia's security concerns and sought guarantees against NATO expansion in Russia's proximity.
President Trump and his team, especially after the meeting in Alaska, took a much deeper approach to settling this crisis, realizing that it is necessary to eliminate the root causes. That's what we and President Putin have been saying all along. And one of these root causes is the issue of Russia's security. The fact that commitments given to us on preventing the expansion of NATO to the east have been consistently violated for decades. The president noted several times that after these promises were given, there were 5 waves of NATO expansion.
So far as the Ukrainians are concerned, they voiced cautious optimism about the revival of peace talks.
Regarding the meeting, of course, we are filled with optimism. We believe that this crisis in talks will be overcome. And yesterday was already the first step. And we are waiting to see how the events regarding the leaders' meeting will unfold further.
Although the chances are still grim, a face-to-face meeting between Zelensky and Putin would be the first since the Ukraine war broke out nearly 3.5 years ago. Raghav Kumar Jha reports for DD India.